Women play hard to get as a form of emotional protection because, for most of them, attraction doesn't erase the lessons life has taught them. Every woman has been through moments where she trusted too quickly, believed too easily, or gave her heart to someone who didn't value it. Those experiences leave emotional fingerprints. They shape how she approaches new connections, even when she genuinely likes someone. So when a woman pulls back, slows things down, or doesn't give you everything at once, it's rarely because she's trying to manipulate you. It's because she's trained herself to protect what is most vulnerable: her feelings, her hopes, and her long-term emotional safety. When a woman starts liking someone, she doesn't only feel excitement, she also feels risk. Attraction exposes vulnerability, and vulnerability can be scary. Playing hard to get becomes a shield that allows her to sense the environment before taking a step forward. She wants to see if a man's interest is real or just temporary. She wants to know if he's the type who appreciates depth or if he only enjoys the chase. By creating a little distance, she's giving herself time to observe how he behaves when things aren't immediately easy. Does he get frustrated? Does he lose patience? Does he act entitled to her attention? Or does he remain respectful, calm, and consistent? Many men misunderstand this stage because they assume that if a woman likes them, everything should move fast and feel effortless. But for women, emotional safety takes precedence over emotional excitement. She won't fully open up until she knows she's not handing her heart to someone careless. Playing hard to get gives her control over the pace of the connection, allowing her to feel safe while still exploring her interest in the man. It's her way of saying, "I like you, but I need to see who you are when things aren't perfect." This protective instinct isn't just about her past, it's also about her value. Women know their time, attention, and emotional availability carry weight. By not giving everything immediately, she ensures the man sees her not as someone easily won, but as someone worth investing in. If a man loses interest just because she takes her time, she learns everything she needs to know. He wasn't serious, wasn't patient, and wasn't ready for something genuine. But if he stays consistent without becoming needy, stays confident without being pushy, and stays interested without losing his individuality, her shield naturally lowers. At that point, playing hard to get fades, not because she changed, but because she finally feels safe. Women don't withhold affection forever. They simply need reassurance that their interest is directed towards someone trustworthy. In reality, playing hard to get isn't a game at all. It's a filter, a protection mechanism, and a way to safeguard their emotional world from being mishandled again. And once a woman realizes she's dealing with a man who respects her pace and honors her emotional boundaries, she no longer needs protection. She becomes fully open, genuine, and loyal. Women play hard to get to evaluate a man's intentions because attraction alone is never enough for them to fully invest. A woman can feel chemistry, excitement, and interest, yet still hesitate to move forward until she understands why a man is pursuing her. She knows that many men show strong interest at the beginning, but fade as soon as they get what they want. She knows that some men love the chase more than the relationship. She also knows that a man can say all the right words without having genuine, long-term intentions. So instead of relying on promises, she studies behavior. Taking things slow allows her to see the difference between short-term excitement and real interest. When a woman plays hard to get, she's quietly observing the man's actions. Is he consistent, or does he disappear and reappear? Does he stay respectful when she sets boundaries, or does he push for more than she's ready to give? Does he show effort only when he thinks he's losing her, or is he stable and steady even when things are going well? These small details help her determine what type of connection he truly wants. She's not looking for perfection. She's looking for sincerity. A man who is serious will continue showing up even when things move slowly, while a man who was only seeking something casual will quickly grow impatient and drift away. Her pacing filters intentions without confrontation. Men often misread this slow pace as disinterest, but for women, it's an essential part of understanding emotional safety. If she gives her time, attention, and emotional energy too quickly, she risks being hurt or taken advantage of. But by delaying certain steps, she forces a man to reveal his emotional endurance. Is he interested in building something real, or does he only want intimacy without commitment? Is he willing to put in effort beyond the initial attraction, or does he lose motivation the moment things require patience? When she plays hard to get, she gets answers without ever asking the questions out loud. Another reason women move slowly is because they want to see if the man values connection over convenience. Anyone can show interest when it's easy, when the conversations are fun, when the energy is high. But real intentions reveal themselves during moments of uncertainty. If a man respects the pace she sets, it shows he values not just the idea of being with her, but her as a person. If he rushes or pressures her, it shows his interest is rooted more in desire than in respect. Ultimately, playing hard to get helps her protect her emotional world from men who don't have genuine intentions. She's not trying to frustrate or confuse anyone. She's trying to be sure. She wants to invest in someone who sees her as more than a moment, someone who is willing to show consistency, patience, and clarity. When she sees that a man's intentions are sincere, her guard drops naturally. She no longer needs to test or evaluate. She lets the connection unfold with confidence, trust, and openness. Women often create distance or move slowly as a way to test a man's emotional maturity because they understand a profound truth. Anyone can act confident when everything is going their way, but not every man can stay calm, respectful, and grounded when things become uncertain. When a woman delays her replies, takes her time to make plans, or creates space instead of jumping in immediately, she isn't necessarily playing games. She's observing something deeper than attraction. She's observing how the man handles tension, ambiguity, and the unknown. These slow moments reveal qualities that no conversation or compliment can show. They reveal patience, emotional balance, and self-control. When she takes longer to reply, she watches how he reacts. Does he become needy, sending multiple messages in a panic? Does he get angry or passive-aggressive, accusing her or guilt-tripping her? Or does he maintain his composure, understanding that she has a life and her own pace? A woman doesn't want a man who collapses into insecurity the moment things don't go exactly as he expects. She wants someone grounded, someone who doesn't depend on constant validation to feel stable. A man's reaction during silence tells her whether he is emotionally strong or emotionally fragile. When she's slow to commit to plans or doesn't immediately agree to meet, she's not trying to frustrate him. She's watching whether he respects her boundaries. A mature man doesn't push, pressure, or complain. He continues showing interest without demanding anything. He offers suggestions without acting entitled to her time. This balanced approach signals emotional intelligence, patience, and respect. On the other hand, a man who rushes or becomes irritated exposes his neediness or his desire for control. Women instinctively test these small moments because emotional maturity is a foundation of long-term stability. A woman wants to know that if life becomes challenging, if communication slows, if emotions fluctuate, the man won't crumble or lash out. She wants to know he can navigate conflict without being impulsive, needy, or aggressive. Playing a bit hard to get helps her understand how he handles emotional friction, something that becomes crucial in deeper relationships. These tests aren't always conscious. Women don't usually sit and think, let me test this man today. It's more instinctive, something shaped by experiences, intuition, and a deep desire for emotional safety. When a woman creates distance, she's paying attention to whether the man respects her autonomy or tries to control it. She's watching whether he stays genuinely interested or only persistent when pursuing the thrill of the chase. She's checking if his confidence is real or just an act that falls apart under pressure. If the man responds with patience, calmness, and continued authenticity, she feels reassured. She starts to trust that he is not just trying to win her, but genuinely values her. And as her trust grows, her distance naturally fades. She becomes warmer, more responsive, and more open because she has seen his emotional strength firsthand. What began as a test becomes the foundation of a deeper connection. In the end, women use slow pacing and small moments of distance to reveal a man's emotional maturity. And when a man shows stability, resilience, and respect, she no longer needs to test anything. She feels safe to let her guard down and allow the relationship to move forward naturally. Mixed signals from women are often misunderstood by men because they seem confusing on the surface, but in reality, they come from an internal conflict rather than any intention to manipulate. When a woman likes a man, she experiences two powerful emotional forces at the same time: curiosity and caution. Curiosity pushes her toward the man. She wants to know him, talk to him, and let the connection grow. But caution pulls her back, reminding her of past experiences, potential risks, and the possibility of being hurt. This internal tug of war creates moments where she seems warm one day and distant the next. But these shifts reflect her emotional balance, not a strategy to play games. A woman may genuinely enjoy your presence, your conversation, and the energy you bring. She may even feel chemistry that surprises her. But the moment she feels herself liking you too much, too fast, her protective instincts kick in. She may suddenly slow things down, reply later, or act less expressive, not because her attraction has vanished, but because she's trying to regain control of her emotions. She's telling herself, don't fall too quickly. Make sure this is real. Make sure he deserves your heart. This creates the illusion of mixed signals, but underneath, her feelings haven't changed. Her caution simply needs space to breathe. These mixed signals also come from uncertainty. She might not know if the man likes her as much as she likes him. She might be unsure of his intention or how serious he is. She doesn't want to embarrass herself by being too available. She doesn't want to chase someone who might not value her. So she holds back, not to confuse him, but to protect herself from emotional disappointment. Her distance often masks her desire to be chosen without having to chase or compromise her self-worth. Sometimes mixed signals appear because she is evaluating compatibility. Attraction can be strong, but compatibility still matters. She might be attracted to the man's charm, but cautious about his lifestyle. She might like his confidence, but unsure about his consistency. This creates moments where she leans in emotionally, but then steps back to analyze the bigger picture. She's not confused about her feelings. She's cautious about the outcome. It's also important to understand that many women are taught from a young age not to appear too eager, even when interested. Society encourages women to be subtle, to move slowly, and to avoid looking desperate. So her actions are shaped not only by emotion, but also by social conditioning. She may want to show interest, but she doesn't want to appear easy, naive, or overly invested too soon. When a man mistakes these mixed signals as disinterest or manipulation, the connection suffers. But when he understands the emotional conflict behind them, he stops personalizing her hesitation. He becomes patient instead of paranoid, steady instead of insecure. And the moment she senses that he understands her emotional rhythm instead of pressuring her to move faster, she relaxes. Her caution fades, her warmth becomes consistent, and the connection becomes more natural. Ultimately, mixed signals are rarely games. They are emotional caution signs. They reflect a woman's desire to feel safe, respected, and valued before she fully opens her heart. And once she feels that safety, the confusion disappears and her feelings become clear, steady, and unmistakably real. Women want to feel safe before they open up fully because emotional safety is the foundation of attraction, trust, and long-term connection for them. When a woman begins liking a man, she doesn't just think about the moment. She thinks about the possible outcomes. She wonders whether he will respect her boundaries, whether he will value her feelings, and whether he will still be there when emotions deepen. This need for safety is not a weakness. It is a deeply rooted instinct shaped by biology, psychology, and life experience. Women know that giving their heart to the wrong person can cost them far more emotionally than it costs most men. So before she fully invests, she needs to feel a sense of emotional protection, stability, and trust. A woman watches for consistency because consistency builds safety. It shows her that the man is reliable, not just enthusiastic one moment and distant the next. When a man's energy fluctuates, showing interest today and pulling away tomorrow, it triggers caution. But when his actions align with his words, she slowly relaxes. She begins to believe that he is not just attracted to her, but genuinely cares about her well-being. Safety grows when she sees that he is not rushing her, pressuring her, or expecting something in return for his attention. Instead, he gives her space to move at her pace, which tells her she is respected. Women also need safety because many have learned the hard way that not every man has pure intentions. She may have been lied to, used, manipulated, or emotionally neglected before. These wounds don't disappear just because she meets someone new. So even if she likes a man deeply, she won't fully open her heart until she sees signs that he is different from the ones who hurt her. She watches how he handles small moments of conflict, distance, or slow communication. She looks to see whether he reacts with understanding or frustration. If he can stay calm, patient, and reassuring, she begins to trust him with parts of herself she normally keeps hidden. Emotional safety also comes from knowing she won't be judged for being vulnerable. Many women fear that if they open up too soon, too deeply, or too honestly, the man will lose interest. So they hold back their emotions not because they lack feelings, but because they don't want to be misunderstood or rejected. When a man proves through his behavior that he can handle emotional conversations, personal stories, and genuine vulnerability, she begins to feel secure enough to share her authentic self. Another dimension of emotional safety is that women want to feel chosen, not just desired. Desire is common, it's everywhere. But being genuinely chosen by a man, through commitment, patience, and steady effort, is what creates a true sense of security. A woman needs to know she's not just an option, a temporary excitement, or a distraction. She needs to feel she is valued for who she is, not just for what she can offer. This reassurance allows her to open up without fear. Once a woman feels emotionally safe, everything about her changes. Her texts become warmer, her conversations become deeper, and her connection becomes more open and effortless. She stops holding back and starts investing fully because she knows her heart is in good hands. Emotional safety transforms her from guarded to genuine, from cautious to committed, and from distant to deeply connected. This is why it is one of the most important forces behind why women play hard to get until they feel protected. A confident, grounded man naturally removes the need for a woman to play hard to get because his energy gives her something she rarely experiences in early connections: emotional certainty. When a woman meets a man who knows who he is, who doesn't chase validation, and who doesn't lose himself just because he likes someone, she feels a kind of stability that calms her fears and quiets her doubts. Women don't want to play hard to get. They do it because they're unsure, cautious, or guarding themselves. But when a man shows emotional strength, patience, and authenticity, she no longer feels the need to protect herself with distance or mixed signals. His presence becomes reassuring, not overwhelming. His interest feels genuine, not impulsive. His consistency makes her feel chosen rather than chased. A grounded man doesn't panic when things move slowly. He doesn't get upset if she takes time to respond or needs space to think. Instead of trying to control the pace, he respects it. This respect signals maturity. It tells her that he's not desperate, not insecure, and not basing his self-worth on how quickly she opens up. Women can sense when a man is acting out of fear, and fear-driven behavior creates pressure. But a grounded man acts out of clarity and intention. He wants her, but he doesn't need her to validate him. That difference alone makes a woman feel safe enough to drop her guard. Confidence also communicates that he has a life outside of her. He has goals, responsibilities, passions, and standards. He isn't waiting by his phone, rearranging his entire world, or rushing commitment just to fill an emotional void. Women respect men who are whole on their own. When she sees that he has a strong sense of identity, she realizes he's not pursuing her to escape loneliness or to prove himself. He's pursuing her because he sees her value. This creates a powerful shift inside her. She no longer feels hunted, she feels appreciated. A grounded man's calmness during uncertain moments reassures her that he can handle emotional depth. Women observe how a man reacts to small challenges: slow replies, busy schedules, emotional conversations. An insecure man may become reactive, moody, or passive-aggressive, but a stable man stays rational and patient. This emotional steadiness proves he's not easily shaken, and that makes a woman feel she can express herself honestly without fearing an explosive or dramatic reaction. His calm presence allows her to relax and be herself. Authenticity is another trait that dissolves her need to play hard to get. A grounded man doesn't pretend, exaggerate, or perform. He's straightforward in his communication. He shows interest without overdoing it. He's kind without trying to impress. He's honest without being harsh. This honesty earns her trust because it shows consistency between his words and actions. With authenticity comes reliability, and reliability is a signal that it's safe to emotionally invest. Over time, a woman begins to mirror the energy of a grounded man. Because he doesn't chase wildly, she doesn't feel pressure. Because he doesn't react emotionally, she stops second-guessing herself. Because he doesn't play games, she stops playing them too. Her cautious behavior fades, not because she suddenly becomes fearless, but because she finally feels she's dealing with someone capable of handling her heart with respect and stability. In the end, confidence doesn't force a woman to stop playing hard to get. It inspires her to. A grounded man brings clarity where there was confusion, certainty where there was caution, and emotional safety where there was fear. With him, she doesn't need to hide her feelings. She feels free to express them openly and wholeheartedly.